Hey guys, welcome back. So, I've been working on this exhaust section in the rear, and we just don't have room. So with this 488, it's a lot wider than the factory diff, and I want to maintain at least a 1/4 inch of clearance around the exhaust everywhere, and I just don't have it. So you can see this brace was, usually these are tack welded as like an assembly, so we cut that so we can take this out and try to modify it to fit. So basically we're kind of running into this side right here, hitting the pipe. You can see this brace, it gets wider, they kind of flattened it out, you know, to put the bolt in. So we're going to try to modify a couple things with that. And then the rear one that goes across, that's this brace right here. Let's see, it'll go like that. So this brace, we had previously, you can see that hole has been ovalized. We tried to do that to scoot it back a little, and that helped, but it's really not enough. So on that brace, I think we're actually going to cut the tabs and weld new ones. So let me try to hold this up here. Sorry, let's see, it goes about like this. So we're essentially going to scoot this back. That'll buy us some space, but our tabs are obviously not going to line up. So I think we're just going to cut and weld some new tabs to this. I think that's going to be the easiest fix for now, is to just take this tube, cut the ends, weld some offset tabs, so we can scoot this back from, you know, say from here to here. And that'll buy us a little bit of room between that brace and the diff, and hopefully that's enough. So bring you guys back in a few and we'll see what that looks like. Alright, here's where we're at. So this bracket that's welded to the subframe, we just got done grinding on it. So you can see how that looks. So I'll kind of show you both of them so you can do a comparison. So here, the one on the right, we haven't modified this one. You can see it's kind of goes straight up and then angles. So this one, we cut it back some to get a little extra space, and then we also angled it. And then in addition to that, we rounded it. So gotta deburr it, but that's what it looks like. Should give us a little more room. And then also this area under the bottom where it's welded, I just kind of hit the high spots to kind of make space. So as it's vertical, and kind of great focus in the camera. But that area is now kind of flush. It used to hang down before. If you look at the other one, you'll see it kind of, see how it hangs down. So I'm actually going to move that brace further this way to make room, so I wanted that area to be out of the way. So that's where we're at on that. About to start modifying the brace that goes there next. So here's that side brace. We just cut that tab, just made a mark, and essentially we're going to build a new one that, something offset like that. Well, not exactly like that, but something to shift it, make clearance. This is our brace. We used this sanding wheel on a 4.5 inch grinder. Got this end all cleaned up. So needs a little acetone, but other than that, it should be clean enough to weld on. So to get some extra space on the side profile, we cut that wing off. That's that little piece right here. And I'm going to take a grinder and clean that up, and we'll make a little piece and weld it in there, so that'll buy us a little extra space where that tube flared out previously. Well, change of plans. We decided to just weld it shut. Once I laid it on the table, I didn't think it'd be that hard to weld, and it really wasn't. So the weld's kind of proud of it though. We're going to have to grind it down. May have to touch up a couple spots, we'll see. But it's welded shut. So here's our tube after grinding. So we welded this spot up and then just kind of ground it down. See, it's mostly flush. We're about to hit it with a sanding wheel. This is just a grinding wheel. Get the shape right. So next we'll sand it. Here we go. So you can see here, we got that one side trimmed down. It's actually turned out great. Reposition it, yeah. So there's the side we didn't modify. Still pokes out. There's the side we did modify. So we cut that, welded that hole, ground it down, sanded it smooth, kind of blended it in. That's what we got. Turned out nice. So next we got to build this tab to offset this to give us a little extra space. So here's our brace. We got it bolted over there. As we can see now, much better. Got some room here. Now we just gotta put a new tab on this. There we are after hitting the outside with the file. Now it's all deburred. We're ready to continue building our little brace. So here's the tab that we're gonna weld to that brace that I made. So I just took this caliper, went up there and took some measurements. So 1.5 inches wide, 2.1 long. Got the measurements for the hole, scribed it out on a piece of metal, and then used a porta band to cut the outside, and then a file to deburr it, and drill a hole in it. And I actually got one of those fancy step drills to deburr. Man, that sure is, it's there right there. But those things are great for deburring a circle after you drill a hole. So did that. So there's our tab. Now we'll bolt it up and get it welded in. Oh, here's our tab. Got it bolted up into position. You can see here, it's going to give us a lot more space. Got plenty of room to weld this. Look at that. Just what we needed. So just got done welding this tab. It's still really hot. Gotta clean it up with a wire brush in a minute. Here we go. See, it's much more low profile on this one side now. Got the other side welded as well. And here's our finished brace. So just hit this with a wire wheel to clean it up. You can see that bottom portion is now basically straight. Give us a lot more room. The hole's offset. Welded it all out. Even got these edges. Got like a little fillet weld right there on both ends to kind of blend it in smoothly. So yep, this brace is good. Actually, now the important part. Bolt it up and see if it actually fits. Well, good news. This brace fits. Got it bolted up. There's our modified spot. Got it all. Lots of more clearance. This section of the rear, or the forward portion of this brace, we ovalized the hole that this goes in, so we were able to offset it a little bit, so we didn't have to remake it. So I could just push on this, scoot it over, give us a little bit more room there as well. Alright, so here's where we're at. We took that bend here, we want it to be in an exact position. So what we're going to do, or what we've done, is I've put some spacers. So you can see like right here, that's a 1/4 inch. You have a 1/4 inch over here, spacing it against the subframe. And there's another one against that tube. So this is kind of keeping, also we have a gap here that I can see that one, so that's about a 1/4 inch as well. So right now, Downpipe has 1/4 inch of clearance everywhere through this region. And now, we also cut it shorter. This used to be longer. So we cut it shorter, and now we just have to connect these two. So this is probably going to be probably 3 sections, unfortunately. We'll see. Because this pipe's coming straight, we got an angle to start coming down, straight section, and maybe we can straight into that, but we may have to put a piece there. But I'm doing it this way, doing this like 3-dimensional meet in the middle, because I really don't want this piece to move. I need this to stay exactly where it's at for clearance. If I start trying to build it this way, and then I get the parts touching, and it's not quite right, this could end up wrong. So even though it's kind of difficult, I'd rather do it this way so that once I get the parts to fit, and I get them all tacked in place, I'll know that this pipe's not going to move on me, and that this is going to fit correctly. Alright, well, we got this kind of tacked up. Past the diff, finally. So we still got some of the shims in place, but you can see we got these pipes tacked together, and then this section we ended up with we added 2 pieces like we were hoping, so a straight section and then a bend. So still got to weld it out, but that gets us past the diff. So I think the plan's going to be to either finish welding it out or just go ahead and do this rear brace next. So we can see, if we kind of get lined up, that pipe would have hit the original, so we'll have to modify that brace like we were talking, get it offset, and then weld that up, bolt it in, and we can continue with the muffler.